Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie, I'm from Austria and this is episode 50 something. Hello, I am so glad you could join me to this podcast episode. I know it has been a while once again, but that is just life. I just came back from work. It is the end of July and it is raining like crazy outside, so I do hope that the lighting will also be okay because it is getting dark, and with this gloomy weather it really doesn't help this situation, but we will make do. How are you guys? I know it's been a while. I thought I would pop on here and give you a little update what has happened over the past few months. To be fair, not that much has happened knitting wise, but I do have a few finished objects. I have some new whips and I also have one acquisition. It's not a yarn acquisition, but it's one I am super excited about, and I hope you will be super excited about as well, because I can only highly recommend it. Anyways, without any more babbling, I think we will do more than enough of that in this episode. Let's start with finished objects. I have two finished objects. One has been on my needles for, I wouldn't say quite a long time, but it's been a few weeks. It is my Epiphany Cardigan by Cupid Knits. I finished mine. It looks beautiful. I am so in love with it. I have worn it many times now and I would highly recommend this pattern. I'm gonna insert some kind of footage of me wearing it. I think that is the best way you can see it. But this is what it looks like. It is a very fitted cardigan with beautiful ties at the front, and you have some ruffle detail at the sleeves. But mine, as you can see, they're rolling up. So right now I don't mind that. It doesn't look as neat as it could do, but I think that is totally my fault. I messed up the stitch count and then I messed up the decreases because of the stitch count, and I bound off way too tightly, which is why it's rolling up, as you can see. So you have the decreases here and then some really wonky like in between ones. I just needed to get down to the stitch count because I think I didn't decrease as many times as the pattern said I should, or something happened. I might have not picked up as many stitches as it said I should. I can't remember anymore because this has been finished for quite a few weeks now, but I'm super happy with it. The yarn I used is Drops Puna. It is 100% alpaca yarn in the color 7. It is this beautiful light pearly grey, and it works so well with almost all of my outfits. I love wearing this to work. I love wearing it with my like dressed up style, but also for super like formal events when I get cold. It works beautifully with a black dress, so I'm really happy not only with the color choice but also with the yarn, because I do think that the alpaca makes it very drapey, very flowy, and I've never worked with this yarn before. I have a lot of it in my stash. I have worked with alpaca yarn before, the thinner version of this yarn, but I never wore the sweater itself because back then I crocheted it. And I realized that I'm very sensitive around my neck. Luckily this is not the case with this cardigan because it's very open around here. It's not itching me, and I also have no problems with it wearing it with like short sleeves. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I wish I made the sleeves a little bit bigger because they are very fitted. And I think I also could have sized up in size. I think I made the smallest size possible. I always do. And yeah, I could have done with a bigger size, to be honest, but I wanted a really fitted one. I wanted something that is snug and lays kind of flat against my body, so I can wear it with dresses. Also cropped, I shortened the length than the pattern recommended, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, apart from those few things I just mentioned. So what you have is, you have an I-cord edge along the neck. You have a marker where you start, and then you make the I-cord, and then you connect it to the garment itself. Then you go all around the neck, and then you make the other tie. So the rest of the body has no I-cord, which I'm really happy about, because I don't enjoy making the I-cord, and I think it also looks fine. It doesn't roll up too much when you wear it, especially when you have tied it in the front, because then it kind of opens it up anyways. So that's that. And you have the same thing at the bottom of the cardigan, just a really simple I-cord edge. It looks really neat, and also around the sleeve. The pattern was really well written, and you do have two options with the ruffles. You can make the simple one, which I did, or you can double it so you have a bigger ruffle and essentially 2 layers. I didn't want that. I just opted for the kind of standard version, I guess, and I'm really happy with it. I would like to make the other version at some point in the future, but not anytime soon, because this is probably my one and only cardigan of the year, just because I don't like purling, and I always just make one of these in 1 year. Really happy with this. As I mentioned now a million times, highly recommend the designer, highly recommends the pattern. I had a great time. It was all really well written and clearly explained, so go and check her out. Alrighty, the second finished object that I have is the Tolsta tank by Rebecca Clow. I started this pattern a year ago, and I got really frustrated about halfway through, and then I just put it in the corner, didn't want to pick it up again. And once I finished the cardigan, I thought, why not try and finish something that I have kind of laying around anyways. So I picked this back up again and I finished it. So this is the Tolsta tank, and there are a few variations of this pattern. What you do is you start at the bottom with a rib, just a sort of simple 1x1 rib, and then you knit up the body, and that's when it gets interesting, because you have a few different options that are included in a pattern of how your top can actually look like. I opted for the V-neck version, front and back, so it's literally the same. And what you do is you cast off a few stitches here on the side by the armhole, and then you just knit the 4 triangles. I have to say, I modified the very top bit. You're supposed to connect the straps to have like one piece, but I wanted something different. I wanted something that you could tie, you could adjust as well, in case it wouldn't fit as it should have, which it kind of doesn't, but that's beside the point right now. I also wanted something with ties at the shoulders, kind of like a bow type situation, and I have kind of achieved that. So what I did is I just made the straps longer, so instead of connecting it, I extended the strap itself, and then for the top I decreased 1 stitch on each side until I had 3 left, and then decreased the rest, so you have this kind of situation going on. I haven't blocked this yet because I only finished it a week or 2 ago, and to be honest, I really don't know what to do with it. The yarn that I used is Lana Grossa Diversa. I can't remember the colour, but it's this like old dusty pink with some brown or golden speckles. It looks cool, but it's just not my colour. It really blends in with my skin tone if I hold it up here. It looks really weird when I wear it, and I might get a lot of hate for this, but I really didn't like the pattern. With Rebecca's patterns, I found out it's a hit and miss. Quite a lot of them I've had major troubles with. This is my third pattern that I now made from her, and the things just don't fit right. There are mistakes in it. I found this very confusing, and I really don't like the result. When I'm wearing it, it constantly slides off my shoulders because the straps are just too wide, too further on the outside than what it should be. And the whole construction of the triangle I also didn't... First of all, I found it very confusing, and second of all, it just makes it look really weird because the decrease rate is not consistent around the armhole. You have like steps instead of the triangle going together. You have like, this one is a diagonal, and this one you have like steps to kind of meet again, which makes it fit really oddly because you have this nice V around here, and then the edge of the armhole rolls up because there is too much fabric down here, and then it's just too wide because it's gonna meet up here again. So it's done, it's finished. I might try and dye it, but that won't solve the fit issues. I might still try and make it work, I don't know. I'm just super done with this project. I'm gonna leave it on the side as of right now, and then just decide what I'm gonna do with it later on. I really wanted this to work because I wanted something that has some cute ties at the shoulder seam, and this is just not it. So really disappointed, to be honest. But hey, it's done. It is a finished object, and maybe I'll donate it, maybe I will unravel it and reuse the yarn, I don't know. I'll probably sell the rest of this yarn. I only used 2 balls. I actually bought 4 last year. When I bought the yarn, I bought it online, and the colour that they showed is just not what I actually got. It showed up a lot brighter, and it's just kind of a yucky colour. I don't know, maybe it will just work for someone else. That is not me. But that is my second finished object. I have now finished my first summer garment as far as I know. As you know, I'm not huge on summer knitting anyways. I mostly don't wear the things that I make. I have a lot of cotton yarn. I also have made a lot of like t-shirts and tops in the past, and I just don't wear them because summer in Austria is usually really hot, and it just gets very sticky very quickly, and I just don't like the feel of it. I'm also more of a sweater and like cardigan knitter instead of t-shirts and tees and vests kind of person. Right, those are all of my finished objects. As I mentioned before, summer has been not really summer. June was super hot. May, it started off really warm, then it kind of dropped down again, and then it got super hot really quickly. We had almost 4 weeks of just constant heat, 30 degrees plus. Now we've got it. And it's just been kind of nice but horrible at the same time, because I like the sun but I don't like the heat, and these things don't combine really well. But then at the end of June it started raining, and it basically hasn't stopped raining. I think we had 2 nice days in the whole of July. It's just rain, constant rain every day for weeks, and it's been very cold, so I can't wear my dresses, I can't wear all of the nice clothes that I want to wear. but I shouldn't whine too much about it because it's just never right anyways. One day it's too cold, the other day it's too hot, so hey ho, that's what we get. But I hope that it will at least get a bit sunnier in August, so I can just get a tan. I guess that's my goal for this year. I did tan a little bit already, like I said, in the 2 nice days that we've had in July, and that was really great. I went to the lake with a few friends and we just had a blast there, but apart from that it's just been water and more water coming down. Don't get me wrong, I love the rain, I love listening to the rain, but it's not as much fun if you have to drive in the rain every day with just a lot of rain mass coming down. Anyways, that is how my summer is going. Let me know how your summer is going, maybe a little bit better. And let's start with whips, because I have 2 new whips. One that I have worked on, which is kind of old but nothing too exciting, and I think I'm going to start with that one. And then I have one that is a bit wishy-washy. I have to decide what I'm going to do with it. The first one is my trusty sock. I have been working on this for months. I started this around Valentine's Day, so back in February, that's when I remember I bought the yarn. I was super excited, it looked beautiful. I wanted to cast on a sock immediately, and I did. I finished the first sock really quickly, as far as I remember. It is a self-drafted pattern, as much as you can self-draft like a ribbed sock. So I wanted a 2x2 sock, so that is what I did. I then made a slip stitch heel, just very standard, and then for the front I have the rib continue down the front of the foot and then just plain stockinette at the back. The yarn is Lana Grossa as well. It's called Monte. It's got aloe vera in it from the Meilenweit series. This is what it looks like. Beautiful yarn. I really like working with it. It is 80% wool, 20% polyamide in the color 7021. Really nice yarn. I cast on the second sock I think immediately after I finished the first one. This has been a great project to take with me to work when we have some downtime, but I just wasn't feeling like knitting in the past few months. And then something happened, because I cast on the sock. I was at the point where I was supposed to make the slip stitch heel, and then I realized I had 10 stitches too few. So I was like, how did that happen? I lost total motivation on it, because rib is just not my favorite thing to do. The purling bit is just not fun for me. And I picked it up again, I think last time already, and I now have this much of the leg. Like I said, it's not huge progress. I am, I think, almost down to the slip stitch heel. I have to count the rows to be certain. I've not worked on this for a few weeks now. Again, I don't get in the sock mood until it's Christmas, really. So this isn't by no means priority whatsoever. It's just a fun project to have on the side, something small, something simple, if I ever feel the urge to just work on something. I took this with me to the lake, and that was great fun. Got a few centimeters in on that. The pattern is just the usual vanilla sock pattern by the sock lady, I think she's called, I almost forgot. And then I just modified the sock with the rib pattern to make it fit a bit better, because socks usually are very ill-fitting on my feet. I'm trying to find the perfect pattern or like stitch counts to work for my feet. So that's the update on the sock. I have a new project that you haven't seen before. It is a summer project, a summer sweater. I also haven't worked on this for a few weeks now because I got distracted, as you do. But this is the beginning of the summer... Gosh, what's it called? Summer sweater by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Is it? Gosh, it might be Gregoria Fibers. I can't remember right now. Like I said, it's been a while. I'm gonna insert what it actually is on the screen, but you might recognize the stitch pattern. This is what it looks like. It's this beautiful eyelet pattern that you have all over the sweater. I finished the back, I wouldn't say really soon, like very quickly, but it was a fun project to have on the side and just work on in the evenings when I get home from work, just 1 or 2 rows every day. And then I finished both front down to the neck, and I just connected it, connected the front bit. And what I'm supposed to do now is knit until it has the same length as the back. I am a bit worried because the neck seems to be very deep. I'm not a huge fan of like super deep necks and really thick ribbing around the neck, but we'll see. I'm making the smallest size, and I was debating shortening the back in general so it wouldn't have so much overhang, so much ease, but then at the end I just decided to go by pattern. So there are no modifications made so far. I'm working on a 3.5mm needle, I believe. I have my fixed circular needle, and the yarn I'm using is Drops Belle, which is a cotton, viscose and linen, I believe, blend. Yeah, cotton, viscose and linen blend, and the stitch gauge is 21 stitches. The colour is number 3. It's a really nice light beige. It's kind of like an off-white colour, a bit more than ivory and off-white. And I really like it. I have a lot of this yarn. I think I'm gonna use up a lot of this as well, because once again I'm trying to reduce my stash, and more on that a little bit later. So I thought this would be a really great project. I've wanted to make this pattern for a really long time. I've had it in my library for literally years. I just never felt like working on an oversized sweater that is just can only be worn in summer because of the eyelets and because of the yarn choice. But hey ho, I thought I would try it, I would get it done. Maybe I will really like it, and it's gonna be a piece that I'm gonna wear a lot. I don't know, we just have to try it out. So that is one whip I've been really happy with as of lately. And then the second one is the one I am actively working on, and that is the one I did get distracted with because from the other one, because, and I think I'm gonna combine it with my acquisition bit here. I told you I bought something new. I bought Summer Knits by Nordlund, her published book that came out in April this year. It was a hassle to get this one. I had to get it from Germany because you can't get it anywhere in Austria. I'm super happy with this purchase. I really love all of the garments that are in here, all of the pieces. There are so many great things that I want to make. Again, I'm not a huge t-shirt and like top knitter, but this might be what changes my perspective. We'll have to see. I will show you the pattern that I'm currently working on right now, and then I will go through the book and the things I would like to make maybe in the future. So you also have a little bit of an overview. So far I can really highly recommend getting the book. I think it's a great investment. It looks really, really nice also just as a coffee table book. And I love Nordlund's patterns. She's the queen of lace. I have so many of her pieces in my library. I made a few myself already over the years, mostly sweaters. Some of them I had to frog purely because of my fault. But I just love her designs and patterns in general. Anyways, the one I'm working on right now is the Aurora dress. Here is the picture. This is what it looks like. Aro from Aro Knits and Pearls also made this pattern recently. That's how I also kind of got reminded of it. And I thought I really want to make a dress this year. That has been on my bucket list for a really long time, and this is just a plain stockinette one apart from the lace you have at the very top, and it should be a satisfying knit without being too complicated, and I can tell you it's exactly that. It's exactly what I wanted. For the lace, I can show you what I have so far. This is what it looks like. I don't have any straps yet, but we'll get to that. This is what it looks like. You have this beautiful lace bit at the front, a very nice deep V down here. It's the same on the back, and on the sides you have kind of this finish. It doesn't connect, but I think it looks really good like that anyways, so I wouldn't have wanted to have the lace continue in the same fashion. Anyways, this is what it looks like. This is what I have so far. I'm making the smallest size. I'm kind of debating whether I should have sized up and made size 2, but so far it's working out great. I mean, I haven't tried it on just because I don't have the straps yet, but this is what I have. I have increased 4 times now to get it over my hips, and I am just working on my yarn to get that out of the stash. The yarn that I'm using is Sole by Pascuali. This is the label. And it's a really interesting blend. This is 90% cotton and 10% cashmere. I've never worked with this yarn before. You get 140 meters in it, and I have 5 balls of this in my stash. I want to get rid of all of it, and I don't have enough meterage than the pattern recommends, but I really wanted to use this yarn because it had the correct gauge. The color is 77. It's a nice purple color. It could be a little bit darker for my liking or lighter. It's not the ideal color, but I really wanted to use this yarn, so I think I will make do with it. It will be shorter. I don't want it knee length anyways, so I'm really happy that I'm only 1 ball short, so it's not a big issue. And because I wanted it shorter anyways, I think that I will have enough to make the dress look like from, you know, how I want it. And also with blocking, I'm pretty sure I can stretch it. And with cotton in general, you can manipulate it a little bit, not as much as wool, but I think it will be fine. So really happy with this. I'll keep working on it, and hopefully soon I can actually wear it once the weather plays nice again. And yeah, super excited with this one. And then I told you I have one whip which I don't know what to do with because I'm just not into it anymore, and I think I'm gonna frog it. I started this in, I think it was March, it was still very cold. It was around like the tail end of winter, and I wanted something fluffy and kind of oversized to go over just a simple top, so I can actually go out in winter and not be super cold. It was never meant to be a sweater or anything too warming. It was more so for when I go out in the evenings and we go to a club or a pub or whatever, to just have something on top. So I started this. This is a one-stranded mohair t-shirt. I think it's the Tolsta Tee by Clow, and it looks really good. I love the yarn, of course. It is knitting for olive yarn in, I think it's marine blue or something. It's a really dark blue. I really like the colour. I've never worked with this yarn before, but I'm just not into it anymore. I'm not sure if I will actually wear this out ever, so I think I'm gonna frog it. It's a huge pain in the butt because it's just one strand of mohair, and with my luck that I've had so far with Clow's patterns, it's just not going really well. So the chances of this fitting not how I want it to fit are very high, sadly. So I think I'm gonna frog this one. I worked on 5mm needles, really thick chunky needles, but I remember it wasn't a lot of fun to work on because of the yarn. It would dig into my finger. It would be a really slow project. It would drag on and on and on, and I think I'm fairly close to splitting for sleeves as well. But if I'm not enjoying it, and if I'm questioning if I will actually wear it, I don't think it's the right project anymore. So I'm saying goodbye to this one. I will obviously keep the yarn, and I think I will put the yarn as a second yarn into something else, maybe a sweater. I have a little bit of an odd quantity because I wanted this to be something light, something airy gauge wise, but we'll make do. Maybe I will buy another 1 or 2 skeins in the future, so I actually have the correct quantity for a full-on sweater. We'll see. For now, this will go back into my stash as one beautiful cake and one less whip that I have to worry about. Right, those were all of my whips. A little life update. Not a lot has happened. I spend most of my time running and working. Those are the only 2 things I'm really doing, and apart from knitting those few rows at a time that I get in the evening time wise, I obviously spend it on that. Running has been really great. If you don't know, I'm currently training for a marathon in September. I am 6 weeks out, and I'm highly questioning if I actually managed to do the marathon. We are getting to lengths now that is just super time consuming. It was supposed to be my 20k run last week. I just didn't have the time. I only managed to do 10k, and even that was a push. The longest one I had so far was 18k. This week I'm gonna do 22, so a full-on half marathon. So for that I will be out running for probably at least 2.5 hours, probably in the rain because it just won't stop raining. So that has been going fairly well, but like I said, I am just very cautious of my heart and my pulse being very high on these runs, and I want to be responsible with my body. I don't want to destroy it in the process of trying to achieve something. So now I'm highly considering switching from a full marathon to a half marathon, so from 42 point something kilometers to about 21. I think that might be the best thing to do as of right now, but I'm still enjoying it. I still find it a great way to release the pressure and help me with my mental health. So that has sports in general is just, I absolutely love moving, I love using my body, etc. So that's a big win for me. Work has just been super busy over the past few months. It's just not stopping, but I'm also really grateful because I love what I do, even though it can be stressful, even though it can be very draining and not ideal sometimes of how you would imagine things to go. But you have ups and downs in life, and I'm dealing with it just like everyone else as well. And I love going to work every day, and I'm building something. I'm building a career. I am growing as a person, so I am more than willing to invest the time in it, even though other areas in my life have to not suffer, but just take back a little bit. What else can I tell you? I've been reading a lot of, like, not self-help books, but more so character development books. I've been really enjoying those. I recently read in the romance section King of Envy. That was an okay book. It's not my favorite out of the whole series. It was just kind of okay. What else did I read? I'm currently reading The Road Trip by Beth, she's called. Where is the other book that I have from her? I can't find it right now. But I've been just reading a few pages here and there. I can't commit to a full book, or I have to read the book within like 1 or 2 days fully so I can move on with my life again. So not that many new things on that front either. I've been in my hometown in June. I visited my mum and my brother because it was my mum's birthday, and I saw her last week actually. She came and visited me. So family time is very limited as well at the moment, but they all understand that because we do live in different cities with quite a big distance in between. It's a 2-hour drive between Vienna and Graz, so they understand that I just have troubles finding and carving out the time to also make it worthwhile, because I just can't take a full week off right now. So that will just have to be on the back burner for now. But August is going to be a fantastic month. I am so excited. I'm at a pool party this weekend, probably when you're gonna watch this video or just before. I don't know when I'll get round to editing and finishing it up. But I'm at a pool party, and then at the end of August we are doing a really great trip. I'm super excited about this one. We're going to the south of Tyrol, and we spend a few days in this small village with some really great people. I don't know what we're doing, probably some drinking, some really nice food, because it's all local and homemade from the owner where we are staying. So I can't wait to get there and to have this experience. I've also earned this holiday because we had wouldn't say it was a bet, but the best of the best could participate in this, like, I think we're gone for 3 days in total, 3 or 4 days, and I was one of them. So just really happy that I can also be there as well, because I've heard just great things from this holiday. And then in September, as I've mentioned, I'm running my half marathon, whatever it's going to be. So I'm gonna give everything to be prepared the best I can, and to not end up in hospital again like last year. And yeah, let me know how you are doing, what you're working on. Let's just have a conversation, a chat in the comment. That would be really, really cool. I want to connect with you guys again. Like I said, I'm really sorry about just not finding the time for other things and uploading video and stuff. And I'm really happy I could show you something new now as well, because I'm pretty sure you also get bored from seeing just the same old projects and whips that have been on my needles for years. Not years, but at least a year. Let's put it that way. Right, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. It would really help me out and make me very happy to grow my channel and this community. And yeah, leave a comment, like I said, down below, and have a good weekend whenever you're gonna watch this, and happy knitting. Bye!